What's up, y'all? So, long time no see. You know, things have been happening in the background, but we're back consistent. We're back posting again. Hope everything has been good. I'm switching my format to a little bit of a longer format. I'm still going to be live streaming and showing you the business side of my life as well. Still showing my trading content, still showing my logistics business, and still giving you guys value. But I wanted to switch things up and switch to a longer form format because it allows me to bring my ideas together, allow me to be more well rounded in my thought process, and give you guys more value. Still going to help you guys out, still going to give as much value as I can, give as much game as I can from the things that I've learned. Being an entrepreneur for, full time for about 3 4 years now. Still going to be giving a lot of game on that, but I still want to give my perspective on just random things and ideas that I have so I can attract like-minded people and serve more people. So without further ado, let's get to it. If you get value from this video, please let me know. And yeah, so we're going to get into it. So what I wanted to talk about is what I've been seeing is the comparison of errors, especially with LeBron getting swept in the playoffs. And I use a lot of basketball references. I use a lot of sport references. So you got to stay with me mentally to understand it. But what I've been seeing a lot in generations previous and now is the comparison of eras. And one thing you can't do is compare eras because everybody is standing on the shoulders of the previous generation. Perfect example. One of my mentors, he's an older guy. He's in his 70s, but he's still vibrant. And he told me that the first time that he ever saw a black person in a position of power was when he was in ninth grade, about 14 years old, when he drove to downtown Chicago and saw a black manager in a downtown CVS. Now, if somebody has never seen somebody that looks like them in a position of power, how can you expect them to aspire to be a millionaire, aspire to be, you see what I'm saying? Like, environment is a big factor, and we're all standing on the shoulders of the next person. So how can you compare somebody like, Wilt Chamberlain or somebody in the 60s or 70s when they're fighting racism? They don't even have a three-point line and they're playing in Chuck Taylor's. Or you go to the next era with Jordan where Dominique Wilkins is getting called for a Euro step, a travel for a Euro step, but meanwhile we get gather steps. You get step backs. You get all these different opportunities. Like every era has built a foundation for the next era. So the best thing you can do is just say, hey, we're just gonna have mutual respect for each other, understand that we all did what we could with the opportunities that we were presented. You see what I'm saying? Like every generation had opportunities and they were working within the confines of their time. A lot of people in our generation, if they didn't have Apple Maps, wouldn't even know where to go. When a generation previous had to figure out really on the road and look and understand roads, and it's like, so there's so many things that have been automated that give you more time to work on what you want to work on, that give you the opportunity to complain about things that you don't even take into account when you're thinking about previous generations. So there needs to be mutual grace on either side. And so now for Gen Zers, it's on you to talk to your OGs, talk to your mentors, talk to the people who came before you, understand what they got right, understand what they got wrong, and build on top of that. You have access to credit now, you have access to the internet, you have access to a global economy. You can be whatever you want to be, you can see whatever you want to do and look at somebody as your archetype in that position. That alone opens your mind to the possibility of it being able to be done. So you can't take that for granted, and you have to be able to use that as an advantage. I know it seems like, there's more expected of our generation when we have a lot stacked against us, but it's because we have the most opportunity compared to previous generations. And so with much is given, much is required. And so you have to look at it as an opportunity to want to become better, not as a crutch or an issue. And perfect example, all my mentors that are, I have a mentor like for every 25 years. So like I have a mentor that's a 50s, I have a mentor that's 75, I have mentors that are 70. And so it's like you can see what happened in each generation. And one thing I saw in common with those people is that they all say, oh, we were just partying. And so that's not to say that you can't enjoy your life, but If you want to be in a different position, maybe you have to be more structured with your social life. Maybe you have to be more structured with the things that you want to do in your leisure time, because more is required of you. And I'll say from their generation, there probably should be more respect and more admiration for us as well, because we're competing in an objectively harder economy. Everything is global, everything is connected, everything is more competitive because you can see the entire world. And so there's more distractions and there's more things to distract you from getting to the goal that you want to get to. So there should be a level of appreciation and admiration from previous generations onto the current generation as well. There needs to just be a mutual appreciation. We can't compare eras though. You can't compare eras because everybody is operating within the confines of your time. And just to take a little bit of a off-topic approach, is like maybe that goes into your relationship with your family and your parents as well. I was watching the Michael Jackson movie, and everybody in the theater gasped when Michael Jackson gets whooped. I'm like, that's a regular day in a black household. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody is competing. I mean, everybody is operating within the confines of their time. In that period, hey, somebody might have had to get beat. I mean, I don't want to justify it, but that's what was normalized in that culture at the time. And so, if that's something you want to change, like, that needs to be something that you put in your generation going forward. You can change that. But it's like, so I think the ultimate point of what I'm trying to say is, you can't judge previous generations without understanding the world that they lived in. But once you understand it, know better and do better, because you have more opportunity and you're able to see things that previous generations weren't able to see. With much is given, much is required. So don't look at it as a challenge. Look at it as an opportunity to be the person in your family who changes things and sets the right precedent for generations going forward. So just wanted to get that out there. You can't really compare eras. Like, if this is something that you found valuable, like, comment, subscribe, and we're gonna keep going with this. So let's get it.